It's December 24th, 2009. This is the Morning Swim Show. I'm your host, Peter Bush. Today's interview, Garrett McCaffrey caught up with Robert Margalis, who spent the better part of the decade training at the University of Georgia, but he recently moved to train in Southern California with Sean Hutchison in Fullerton.
So Robert, big changes recently. You've made the move from Athens, Georgia, out to Fullerton, California. At what point did you start thinking, I might need a little bit of change of pace here in this swimming thing?
Well, I've had a lot of success with Georgia, and I love Georgia, but after a while it gets a little bit challenging to deal with the coach's main focus being the club team the college team for half of the year. And it's when I started hearing about a postgrad specific program, it was like, well, it'd be nice to be with a group of people who have the same goals all year round. Everybody's always training for the same thing. And I'd heard some about Sean Hutchison, and I'd met him before and got along with him pretty well. So it seemed like a pretty good option for me at the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's been a couple other postgraduate programs that have popped up around the country. What was it about this one in Fullerton that really caught your interest?
Well, my wife Beth and I have been interested in moving out to California for a while. And Southern California specifically has a lot of history in swimming, and I liked what Sean had to say about, like, that was something that he talked to me about also, like the history in the area, and that he just had a lot of good ideas about what his club was going to become, and I thought that the change of pace with him would be a good thing for me.
Let's talk about your specific events, 400 IM. And a lot of people, after they get to a certain age, just cross that one off the list. Is that something that you plan on doing until you retire? 400 IM is going to be on your schedule until you retire?
Yeah, the 400 IM, I still enjoy it. Most people never enjoy it, but that's probably because it's what I've succeeded the most at. But I like it. I like the 200 IM, and hopefully I can get a little better at the 200 freestyle. But the 400 IM is going to remain my focus.
When you see a guy like Michael step down from that after Beijing, do you feel like you have an opening here, and this is kind of a little window of opportunity to possibly get into one of those top two spots in the 400 IM?
Yeah, I was third at trials in 2008 behind Michael and Ryan, but it goes both ways. It's sort of like the door opens up a little bit, but you don't want to say, like, well, Robert made the team because Michael's not in it anymore.
No, I didn't mean that at all.
No, not that you meant it, but that some Joe swim fan may be like, oh, well, he's not that good. Michael would have knocked him out of it. So I want to still be up to the same standards that the U.S. has always had in the 400 IM, and that standard is gold and silver. We always, at the last 3 Olympics, I think we've been gold and silver in that event.
Yeah, or at least on the medal stand.
Laszlo got second.
But I mean, if you were there would have been a possibility for a gold, silver, and bronze. I mean, that's how it's got to be a little frustrating. What was it about the program out at Fullerton that made you think that you can take that next step in that 400 IM? What was it about Sean's training and the way that he approaches the sport that you kind of thought this would be the good move for me to make that next step in my career?
Well, a big focus that I think Sean has is on technique, and most of my career has been based on grinding it out and, like, hard work, put in the yardage, put in the time, and just work as hard as I can. And I try to put technique in there a little bit, but it's never really been as much of a focus as it probably needs to be. And I think that's an aspect that Sean will help me with a lot.
Is it tough to transition into a program like that because you've equated that hard work and that volume with your success? When you kind of cut back on the volume and go to a program where he doesn't even count yards, is that a tough thing to accept mentally?
Yeah, well, I look at it as a new challenge because it's not like because we're doing less yardage it's easier. It's still extremely challenging. Doing things perfect is as challenging as doing a lot of something that's not perfect. And like everybody always says, practice makes perfect. So I try to, that focus makes training pretty intense, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
You're out there right now with just a group of girls. You're the sole male in that group. How's that training with a bunch of girls?
It's good. I mean,
and they're girls that could probably push you in practice. A lot of those girls are pretty phenomenal in the workout pool.
The girls train unbelievably fast. We've had a lot of fast girls at Georgia, and I've seen them do some amazing things, but most of those girls weren't in the distance group with me. I didn't see it very much, but I see these girls every day, and it's incredible what they do, and I can never take it easy because they'd be right on my heels.
Take me through a set that you've done just in the first few weeks you've been there, where you were just pretty impressed with either your own performance or the group's performance in general.
We did a set of we swim in a 33-meter pool, so we did a set of some 66s, and it would me and Ariana and Katie would do fly back breast free, and there are times when I was a little tired, a little bit new. I had just finished the drive out, and I wasn't really beating the girls by very much. And it's hard to tell what times are, but working hard and seeing the girls staying with me and pushing me really impressed me.
Yeah. What kind of goals are there for this season and then for the quadrennial?
Well, the quadrennial is always to make the Olympic team and do the best you can once you get there. And for the short term, I haven't really had a training session yet with Sean. I've only been there 6 weeks, and we started to rest a little bit. And I'm excited to see how the hard training goes and work toward trying to make the Pan Pacific Games team this summer.
I ask about the short term because when you're coming into a new program, it's a different system, and then especially when you're concentrating on technique, sometimes those technique changes take a little time to adjust to. Are you taking any of that into account?
Yeah, I think that all my strokes feel different already, and it's sort of I've had a couple swims that I've been really happy with, and a couple swims that I can tell that I'm just not ready to swim fast with the new technique and new feel for the water. So that's going to be. Those things may not even come to me this summer. It may take longer. So I'm definitely taking that into account.
One last question, and I hate to ask about the suits, but it's something we were talking about yesterday, and I found your answer pretty interesting. We're a couple weeks away from transitioning into the jammer era, and you looked at the tech suit era as not really beneficial to you at all. I mean, you didn't have best times during that era. I mean, or you were right on your best times. Are you excited to get back to the jammers?
I'm very excited. I actually, when jammers first came out, I even refused to wear jammers. And then when leg suits came out, I refused to wear leg suits. But then the suit thing exploded, and I was like, okay, I have to wear these suits. But I didn't go any faster with them. And I think it's a lot with my feel for the water and how I train every day is not covering my whole body in fabric. And I'm really excited to get back to what I see as more like swimming to me.
Good stuff, Robert. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this season.
Thanks, Garrett.
And that is it for the show today. Tomorrow on the show, all weekend long, a great new episode of the Morning Swim Show, our interview with Australian superstar Libby Trickett, who just announced she was retiring from swimming. So that's going to air Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here on the Morning Swim Show. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish.